Hey y'all! Welcome to Knitting in Our Jeans.
Yes.
I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find us on Instagram and Ravelry as both Knitting in Our Jeans. And I'm Toolizzforyou. Toolizzforyou.
And I'm usually posting as Knitting in Our Jeans, but I do have an account for cpredmor, and that is who I am on Ravelry. And at least one of you's gotten in touch with me on Ravelry that way. And as I said, I do have an Instagram account that under that name, but I'm usually posting under Knitting in Our Jeans. And welcome to everybody. If you're a new viewer, thank you very much. And if you're someone who's been with us for a while, we really treasure you. So thank you very much also. And it's December, and we will be at Vogue Knitting Live.
Yes, we will.
In January.
January
Very exciting.
25th, 26th, 27th.
Exactly. I'm not sure how much you'll see us because I've signed up for a lot of classes.
Well, we'll be in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
We'll be around and
Probably having badges.
Probably. And then we'll probably be around at whatever Lisa decides to do.
That's true.
And we'll probably do something
Untangled.
on the 26th, since the 26th happens to be
Your birthday.
my birthday.
Happy birthday.
I'm very
Is that
excited.
Saturday night?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes. We might even have a special guest with us
Really?
from Poughkeepsie.
Ah, well, that'll be fun.
I know.
All right.
So yeah. So that is our Vogue plan. Sorry, I'm looking something up that I thought of right before we started recording, and I'm like trying to figure it out, and it's like not
Well,
working
I
in
have
my
a
brain.
finished object.
Oh, excuse me, but yes, what have you finished?
I finished my hat.
Yay!
And you'll notice that there's black below the gray. So originally the hat ended at the gray and flipped up. Now let me show you. All right, the gray never went below my ears. It's cold. Baby, it's cold outside. So when I was at Knit Night on Wednesday, I went up to the owner, Shawl, and I said, I really need your help. This hat is not long enough. And so she had some spare wool. This is worsted, so we got the same weight as what the hat is made in. And I added a 2.5 inch 2x2 rib on the bottom of my hat. And now it fits. I love it. And what I need to do is obviously measure from here to here so that I know exactly how long to make my hats, because I like to have my ears covered. I don't like to pull it down, which is what I would have had to do. Well, I don't even think I could have had it just with the gray. So we're very happy. We like that royal we.
It's a good royal we.
I'm very happy with this hat, and it goes with my coat really well. And I like it. I even made a pom-pom.
You did.
I did that in class while they weren't looking.
Well done.
I had a piece of cardboard on the cart, and I was just wrapping it around the cardboard. And again, while they weren't looking, I managed to tie it off.
You're so proud
I didn't
of yourself.
clip it in class.
Oh, okay, good.
No, I didn't, because I have clipped it so that it's roughly circular. This one's pulled out, but anyway, we'll fix that one. But I'm really, really pleased with it. It's been keeping my head warm, and I'm quite happy with the whole thing. And then the other thing I did on Friday is I volunteered, or I sent in a proposal for a class up in Rhinebeck for Thrummed Mittens.
Yep.
The mittens that I'm going to be making my mom. Haven't started them yet. I found 6 papers up here on the desk that I haven't graded yet. Great. And that's the class that has the final tomorrow. The final is photocopied.
Good.
So that's good. And I will sit up here. I'll finish grading those papers. And after that, I can start the Thrummed Mittens. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, the only thing is I really can't take those to school to work on because you end up getting fiber fluff everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So about that. So anyway.
Minor detail.
Minor detail.
Minor
Thrummed
detail.
Mittens may be on the menu for Rhinebeck next year.
We will see.
I'm working on another class proposal.
Yep.
That has to do with cast-ons. So I am working on my samples, And I've got one to finish. I want to do about maybe 10 more stitches to form the base. And then I'll have that sample, I think, long enough to photograph. And I can put in that proposal. So we'll see what happens. I know when I was talking to Karen before we left, she was kind of excited about Thrummed and Mittens. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I have a hat, and I love it.
You have a hat.
I have a hat.
You have achieved hat.
I have. And the other thing we were talking about last week were the advent calendars. And this one...
I left mine in my... So, hold on. Let us rewind. This has been a very emotionally trying week for those of us in our community. Not the knitting community, in our church community. Last Sunday, a significant member of our church passed away, and the funeral was on Saturday.
Yesterday.
The wake was on Friday, and then we found out right before his funeral that 2 other members of our church have passed away in the week. And then we had a meeting at church today that was also emotionally trying. So I feel like I slightly get a pass.
On what?
For getting my advent calendar.
Yeah, but just because you forgot it doesn't mean you can count today or yesterday. You arrived here on Friday.
Right.
So the wake counts.
Right.
Right.
But we have had an emotionally trying weekend. I didn't feel like driving back to my apartment just for my advent calendar.
No, but I have an advent calendar.
You
I
do?
was going to show them my advent. So this is the one I believe I showed you before, and I really do like that. This was the next one that came up, and it's coordinating quite nicely. And then this one comes up. And yes, they do kind of coordinate, but I think it coordinates better with the green one that came up. So I've got these 2 coordinating. And then there's a green one over here that works well. And in between, there's this peach that works well with these. We've got this pink one that's kind of hanging out all by itself. But I do like the speckles. So, to be honest, this one, this one, this one,
Yep.
this one
are currently in your favorites?
Are certainly favorites of mine. And then, in day 6, I have a pair of little scissors. I am so excited. I have tape measures that I lose, and as soon as I'm looking for a tape measure, they all run and hide. And the same thing with my scissors. As soon as I need a pair of scissors, they're someplace else.
So funny story. I started keeping a tape measure in the pocket of my coat.
Oh, this is nice.
Like, I legitimately have a tape measure in the pocket of my coat that I will not remove until the end of the season when I stop wearing that coat.
These are very needle sharp. Do you see the points on those babies? Very nice.
Yes.
So these are called vintage scissors. It looks like from Cam Scott Design. So KAMSCOTT design.com. Very sharp, and I think I'm going to really enjoy them.
Yeah.
Yes. So what are you doing over here, dear?
So
that is taking your
I
concentration.
have had a bunch of, as Jasmine and Gigi Knitmore would say, my knitting has attacked me this week. So first, I went home.
Always good.
And I was working away on my socks. And they were doing really well. And so I got to the heel. And I put the heel in. And then I had to take the heel out. Because I had like 2 inches in the heel. That was bigger than my heel.
Oh.
And then
so you made it
I did
too
it again.
long.
I made it too long. And so then I brought it back. And I ripped out, more of the foot of the sock. And then I knit the heel again. And it was too big again. So I left it until I got here on Saturday? Friday. And picked it up and knit me a heel. So I now have a heel that fits on my House Colors self-striping sock, which is my Christmas sock. It's the reversed vanilla with the DK sport weight modification. I did something interesting, as we discussed previously. I started with 48 stitches here, I went to 52 here, and I went to 58 here. Or 56, sorry, at the ankle for the heel. I am going to decrease at the corner points, probably this row or the next row down to 52, and then in probably another stripe or two down again to 48, because I do know that I like a 48 stitch sock. But just to get it around my heel. No, 40, like sock. Leg, and most of the foot.
Okay.
So I think that'll help the heel problem I've been having on some of my socks. In terms of it being a little too tight to get around my heel.
Okay.
So if I'm...
Good experimentation.
Thank you. So I've been working on that in between ripping out the heel and doing it again. So I've gotten really good at the reverse vanilla heel. Like, really good.
And you've done this before.
I have. I did it in the Rhinebeck sweater weather. Colorway by Nomadic Yarns. The fingering weight. Okay. Yeah. And that's when I figured out that I might need to put extra stitches around the heel just to get it
over your foot.
in and around. So, yeah, but these are going pretty well. Along. Yeah, it's going. It's going. So I can't wait to finally hit yarn that I haven't already knit. But because things were being ripped out so quickly, there's no memory in the yarn.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's just I know what has been knit and what hasn't because of what's been pulled out of the cake. Okay. So I've been working on that. I've also been working on my ease, which I think is at the bottom of my bag, and I don't really feel like digging it out because I don't know. All right, Mom, fine. You have... Fine. I will pull it out. Give me a moment. All right. I don't think I've gotten all that much done on it any further because I was trying to get my Tegna in the right direction. Yeah. So we're still, well, maybe we're 1 or 2 decreases more. But yeah, so.
Very pretty color.
Yeah, I do love this color. Do so love this color. So that's in here. Oh my goodness. Yarn. What are you doing?
My yarn for my Christmas socks keeps getting tangled. I think I'm going to use my other bag here that has the pockets, the pockets on each side. And I think I'm going to try that so I can just throw the socks down in the middle. And then the balls of yarn will be in either pocket. That's a good plan. I think that's an excellent plan. Yeah. That's going to be my plan.
That's a great plan.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's the sock that I've been having significant troubles with. So you said you were knitting on your Christmas socks?
I am. So just talk for another 2 seconds here.
Okay. So I have also knit on my ease, as I just said, and I have been working on my Tegna. I've been working so diligently on it, I did not weigh it at appropriate times to determine how much yarn was being used. So I finished the back today. As you can see, I finished the back. Back is done.
And how much you have left?
24 grams.
And you have to do what?
The front and the sleeves.
Well, how much of the front?
Like all of the front?
Show me.
Like, I have to do the equal amount, like the front to pair with the back.
Oh, I see.
So, the back took approximately 45 to 50 grams.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I already ripped it back a few rows and reknit the back once today. I've decided not to do that again to try and... No, we're going to rip it back tonight, because if I don't do it tonight, it's not going to get done.
Okay.
I've decided not to try and reknit continually with the other end of the ball and kind of try and make the front and back work at the same time, because this was a crazy idea in my head. Yeah, it was crazy.
Kind of like 2 at a time socks.
Yeah, but it was crazier than that, because it was playing yarn chicken on both ends. Mm-hmm. So when we came up here, I was like, oh, let me see if Mom has any neighborhood Fiber Co. like red purples, just to see for color, because I thought it was very close to one of the colors that I have at home. Well, I look, and she's got this color, which is, like, really essentially perfect. So,
of course, I have force gains.
And of course, hold on, better part of the story. It's 1600 pen. They don't dye this color anymore.
So I have enough for a sweater. I buy sweater quantities. And my daughter is going to be taking my 1600 pen. But I think you only have a bit of the front back and sleeves. So I would think I'd get 300 yards back.
Something like that.
You're going to weigh this.
Yes, we are.
I know how much I get back. Because I certainly can make a sweater out of 1,500 yards or 1,400. You can
make a sweater out of 1,400.
Yes,
you can be fine. I know.
It's not cabled sweater.
You will be fine. And
you'll have a sweater.
I think, given the fact that 100 grams, like if I had another 25, if I had 50 left instead of 25, I don't think I'd be upset. I think I could do the front.
Yes.
And then I think I could do 25. This, and I only have 25.
Then you could do the sleeves in that, and you'd be.
I can do the sleeves. I can. What I'm going to do?
The sleeves are little cap sleeves.
They're little bippy sleeves. Maybe 4 inches, but I was thinking of making them a little smaller.
Good. I vote for that.
Yeah, I know. I know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip it down to this marker right here, which is about 10 rows lower than the top, or than the, I guess, top of back marker. I don't know. It's the end of the full back and forth stockinette.
10 rows from the top.
Not really from the top. Whatever. From the marker that marked the place where you start the short rows for the back shaping. Okay. There we go. Words are hard, y'all. So then I will do a 10-row fade, a la the So Faded pattern.
Okay.
By Andrea Mowry, which is what I was looking up. And I will fade from the hand-dyed into 1600 pen, and I will then finish the back in 1600 pen. I will then do the front the same way. I will knit approximately 30 rows with the hand-dyed. Mm-hmm. I will then fade for 10 rows, or 9 or 10 rows, and then I will do whatever needs to be done at that point. Or whatever it works out to be for the front of the sweater. Mm-hmm. So that it fades at about the same point on the body. And then if I have leftover of the hand-dyed, I'm probably going to use that in the sleeves. And then I will be able to give Mom as much of the 1600 pen back as possible. But I love my mommy, and she's wonderful.
More important, she loves you.
Yeah, much more importantly, my mommy loves me. Because I really like this sweater that I'm knitting. And I really want it done. I want to wear
I don't understand. So they told you that it needed less yarn than it does?
I'm on gauge, and it calls for 800 yards.
Okay.
For my size.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea what happened.
And what size are you making?
The small, the 38.
Oh, I'll have to try that on when you're done.
Yeah.
I want to make it longer.
Right. I think I made it maybe... No, I didn't. I made it shorter than it says to make for my body length.
Right.
So whatever. I have no clue. Because I checked the gauge today, because that's what my friend Brittany asked. And she was like, are you on gauge? And I was like, I think so. And then I checked it, and I was like, I'm on.
I started talking online in my Ravelry group, the one for Harry Potter, about these mounds of yarn that are on my table, and that I'm somewhat loath to put them back.
This is so pretty, by the way.
Did we talk about that last week?
No.
Okay. you got to bring them all over. So anyway, someone mentioned the 2-gallon Ziplocs.
Hi.
So I'm going to be ordering 2-gallon Ziplocs from... I think we did talk about it.
You talked about the theory of them, not the actual... We did not have them in hand.
Oh, okay. So, I love these. These are Miss Babs.
They're wild irises.
They're Dancing in the Rain. And all 3 are the same color. And you can see this one is lighter than these. So I got the last 3 that they had. It's 560 yards. So I've got 1,500 some yards. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a yoke or something. So I'm going to do, this is the top and then fade down. And so we'll just set them up so that they're light, medium, and dark. I think that's, so light, medium, and dark. So light, medium, dark. And so as it goes down, it'll fade just because of the way that the skeins are. I'm dying to cast on something else. But I have Thrummed mittens, and I have my friend's sweater. Oh, anyway, let me show you what I've done. If you remember last week, I actually put in what is this called? Place marker?
Lifeline?
No.
Oh, no, a stitch marker. A progress keeper.
Progress keeper. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
So what is this? This is something I got.
Yarn over truck.
Yeah, my yarn over truck.
Untangled.
So this is where I was last week, and this is where I am now.
Nice.
I've got markers in that start right before my cable so that I don't knit past my cable. I think you can see the cable now. Or you can see there's some indentation going on. So there's a cable that comes up to the foot until we get to the ankle. And once you put the spare yarn or the waste yarn in for the afterthought heel, that's when the leg pattern starts going to have the 5 cables. Anyway, and this little marker says 2 inches to go before you put your waste yarn in. So this is probably what I'm going to take with me tomorrow for the final. I have a final between 1:30 and 3:30, and I can just sit and knit. And you might say, well, how can you be watching them or proctoring the exam? Well, first of all, I can knit a lot without looking. The only time I have to look is when I hit the marker for the cable. So I can do that. And I have 4 different editions of the exam. So it goes A, B, C, D, and I hand them out so that they're not sitting next to anybody that has their same version. And the versions have different orderings. I rotate the orderings of the questions. So everybody has the same questions, not in the same order. So it would be foolish for them to try to cheat off of one another because it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. So I expect in 2 hours I can do my 2 inches, put my waste yarn in, and I'll be good to go. So, yeah. I just realized that this bag that I got that we got at Thanksgiving, I've got pockets on either side. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these socks in a very big bag that has pockets for 2 skeins of yarn on each side. Because what I've been noticing is I'll put this in a bag, in the tinier sock bag, but they get wickedly
tangled.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. And it takes me a while then to make them all straight. At that church meeting, I had several people who were in awe that I was doing 2 at a time socks.
Hey, I had people who were in awe that we were just knitting. Well, and the fact that I pulled out a second project at the meeting.
So 2 at a time socks.
These are people also who have known me my entire life.
On the same needle, and they're trying to figure out how you do this. And I said, well, first of all, you start the socks separately because you can't make the circle. You can't make the circle on the sock. You can't do the cast on without having 1 at a time. And then once you get past wherever you feel comfortable, I usually like getting past where I've got full 60 stitches on the needle. Then I will pull out another size 1 needle and get my second sock up to there, and then I put them all on 1 needle. It's a very long cord. It's a 40-inch circular cord. It's a carbon, so you can see it's a carbon. So the cable does not, it's not like Chow Goose that really wants to stand out. it's a semi-relaxed cable. There are some Knit Pros that have, I believe it's Knit Pro, that have a very relaxed cable. It just flops. I love that cable on all of my needles.
Yeah, the one that's on the squarey ones.
Yeah, the square ones. They're like,
that's like,
it's like string.
Spaghetti.
It really. And I love it because I don't understand why we have to have these things that have body that might pull your knitting apart. But these aren't bad. And I like the carbons because they do absorb some of my hand heat. And they seem to have a little give. Because with wooden ones, which I like the best, I break them. They're so thin, I break them. And of course, I've broken some of those darn pretty needles that are even fatter. So
yeah,
I have a thing for breaking wooden needles. I haven't broken any of the Likey needles yet.
No,
but
that's been impressive.
That's very impressive. And I found the Likey needles, some of my Likey needles are in that bag. So I need to just finish off the projects that we had at Rhinebeck, those classes, so I can get those needles out of there. So anyway, my Christmas socks are coming along, and I think I will have them done by Christmas. So yay!
So I cast on something new this week.
What did you do?
I signed up for a test knit by Nimruz. So, it was really pretty, and I like her, and so,
I know you do.
So, it's, the Julie Aislinn Liu's DK. It's pretty. It's red, and I'm holding it together with a Debbie Bliss, mohair that has some sparkle in it.
Is that in the pattern to do that?
It's to hold a DK and lace together, or a sport and fingering together.
Very nice.
So, yes. So
what is
I've done the ribbing, and then I have the cabley goodness hat to do. I was gonna make the co-book by Caitlin Hunter out of this, and then she posted that she wanted testers. And I was like, cabley goodness? Okay. With only one bubble? I will do that over... One bubble per pattern repeat? I will do that over Caitlin Hunter's Bobblelicious hat. Because, yeah, it's Bobblelicious. I was not expecting that many bubbles.
Well, I'm looking at all this yarn, and I can't wait. I realize this is the sweater I want to design.
Yep.
So, and I figured out the pattern that I want to do with it.
Good.
So, yes, this is going to be a bottom-up sweater.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what I want to do for the shaping. So, as soon as I finish my mom's Thrummed Mittens and the sweater for our friend, I mean, these things, this is car knitting and class knitting and all that kind of stuff. I got meetings out the kazoo this week. So, even though I have a final on Monday, I have a final on Saturday. I really shouldn't have to go back into work Monday, except for Monday and Saturday. I had to be back at work at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So exciting. So I've got lots of time to work on these socks. Very excited about that. I have the pattern on my phone, so for the legs, so that I'll be able to work on the leg while I'm at all these meetings, which will be good. And so these will move along a pace, and which is nice. So that's not a problem. I think that the sweater, and I think you all remember the sweater, but I'll get it out just in case there's someone who hasn't seen it. I've done half the sweater. And I started working on the left front.
Ooh.
So I picked up from the back. It had provisional cast on. And so you then knit this, what would be a godet in sewing. And then there is the pattern. What they're calling, I think it's the triangle pattern. So then you do another set of this triangle pattern so that there's this nice detailing in the back, and then it comes out and around. So I could also do that while I'm working on the exam. So that's a possibility. So I did do that much, but I decided I wanted to finish the hat because it was so fribbin' cold that I did get that done. So this is the sweater, and we have Thrummed mittens to go, but we will get those done because after I work on these papers tonight, that's the next thing that's going on. Absolutely. Yeah. So, you're just going to be casting on like crazy, huh?
Well, no, I'm going to be ripping back as I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to be adding yarn. And, oh, did I tell you that my office is having an ugly sweater party? Not next week, but the week after?
There are no ugly sweaters.
Thank you. So, we are being judged on ugliest sweater, most creative sweater, most rash-inducing sweater, and most flammable sweater. I have not discussed with them yet the qualifications that they must have for most flammable sweater, but, you know, I might quote some Clara Parks at them.
Wool doesn't
burn. I know. I might just be like, it must be 100% acrylic.
Yeah.
Which they might be like, well,
this
of
could
course.
Be creative.
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Do I wear this and say it's creative? Do I wear the bulky weight?
Oh, that bulky weight is nice.
Do I wear the bulky weight? Do I bring 3 or 4 different sweaters and switch a sweater out every 20 minutes?
Well, that's an idea.
I know, I'm like really tempted to do that.
I really like that.
Because, I mean, you know, my go-to, my epaulette sweater is very creative as well.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
But none of them are really holiday sweaters or, you know.
No.
For knitters, overly creative because this is what
we do.
All the time. And we follow a pattern. So none of them are things that I have designed myself. And it's not as though I've knit an Alicia or something that I would say.
Do you want to take my sweater that I designed?
No, I think it's fine. It's just one of those things where I'm, like, really tempted to figure out how to win this without wearing an ugly sweater.
Because we really don't keep any. We don't make ugly sweaters.
No.
We don't keep ugly sweaters.
No.
I mean,
I would keep a novelty one if someone, like, got it for me, like, for one of those parties.
Right.
Like, if it were a cute, like, Pokemon or, like, fandom themed, or Harry Potter, or, you know, like, something cute, but I don't have any.
We don't have them.
Look at that. I think I picked up all the same row this time.
I think you did. And that is fantastic.
Sorry, the first time I ripped it back, I did not. And I had, like, half of the row where I had to, like, hand tink it, like, I had to switch it onto the other needle and then knit the rest of the row. It was pathetic.
So I can't wait to finish the From Mittens and this other sweater because I am dying, I tell you, to cast this on. Dying.
Yeah.
I'll need a test swatch so I can do the math, but I cannot wait for this. And then there's all this goodness, but there's this that's just sitting here. Now this is...
Yowza?
Yes, that's DK. Now I'm going to do this one first. This will be great.
Yes.
And I'm going to order those Ziploc bags so that I can keep all this stuff together and I can look at it and say, that's a sweater, and that's a sweater, and that's a sweater. Because some of these fades, that's where I get confused. If I put them back up there, then I don't see what the fade is. And that's a problem.
And with the Ziploc, you can write on
it, which the sweater should be. Yes. Yes.
Whether it's a sweater or a shawl or...
I don't have that many shawls.
Well, the fade...
Yes, the fade. Yes, that fade. And then the one that I had, that Nathan had. And then I figured this coming year, I'm not going to propose an owl or a newt anymore. I'm going to be doing missions because you don't have to be very specific with those. And I really like that idea. So I could make multiple socks. I could make a sweater in 6 weeks, which I've done before. And,
or even do it in 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then aggravate the heck out of your wrist.
And then I can keep designing because I still have umpty-ump designs that I want to put out and share with you all. So that's the plan. Finish the Christmas knitting, then start on that sweater, which I think will be really fun to wear. Let's see, my knee is getting better. I think I'm losing a little bit of weight, which will be helpful. Less weight on the knees means they're going to be less cranky, which will be a good thing. So we like that roll we again. I am trying to be more mindful about what I get into this body. And even though we went out to dinner on Friday night, I managed not to get anything that was going to make me ill, which is good.
Which is a miracle.
It really is. So that went really well. I think we got a lunch today at Bear Burger, which is wonderful for both of us.
Yes.
And our friend,
yes,
she has eating issues.
Yeah, nightshades.
Yes.
So she can't do eggplants and tomatoes, which I totally forgot until she was like, I can't with the ketchups. And I was like, right, nightshades, remembered.
Right.
Yep.
So.
Which is so sad, because she developed that later, and she always talks about how she used to love eggplants and things like that.
You know, these things that you develop later in life can be somewhat confusing.
It's the worst.
Well, it's not the worst, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm wearing my dress. I wore it today. In one of our other groups on Ravelry, I mentioned that I had finished it, and someone said, well, I want to see a picture. So we're going to take a picture against the blank wall that's over that way. And then I'll send it into that group so they can see the dress as it got finished. I think that's about it. So
yeah,
I know we haven't done a lot of Christmas planning, but honestly, most of my people in my family this year are ending up with, well, there's that thermometer that they know about, and Uncle Rob knows what he's getting because he already bought it, so I have to pay him back. So I have that. What?
You have a fuzzy that was causing a shadow that looked like a bug.
Okay, no bug.
And I was concerned.
No
For
bug.
those of you who watched last week's and we were concerned about the gnat on the screen, I was concerned about a gnat on her forehead.
We have this thing about gnats.
Apparently.
So I really don't have to do that much shopping. In fact, almost no shopping. I'll be getting extra special Christmas cards and putting money in the Christmas cards, which will work out pretty well. I've bought my regular Christmas cards, and they have come in. And so once the grading for the end of term grades gets done, then I will sit down, and I've actually made it pretty easy for myself because the cards say from the Predmor family.
Look at that.
And all I have to do is get address labels, and I can print out my Christmas list people on the address labels and just stuff them. Sticky them. Sticky the address, sticky the envelope, sticky the stamp, and we're off and running. So I'm hoping not by this time next week, but certainly by the Wednesday the following week to have that done.
Good plan.
It's a plan.
Good plan.
This Friday is your Christmas party.
Yes. So.
And I'm going.
Yes. Mom is my plus one.
Yep.
And some of my coworkers are very excited because they've met Mom before and they find her highly amusing.
And I don't even notice. So,
well, no, it's because you're wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, they find Father highly amusing, too.
Well, he is amusing.
Well, They say it's very funny because we work with, a lot of guys who are, older and dads. And, one of my coworkers...
he fits right in.
Oh, he does. Oh, my dad is, prime.
Right in there, yes.
Dad. So, one of my coworkers was, talking about, well, I don't understand why Tom does this or Tom... And I was like, I can't tell you. I mean, you're talking to the girl whose father, with a broken toe, installed himself at her front door as the coat man for her birthday.
Why would you stand?
And she goes... Yeah, you're right. I was like, I think it's men of that age.
Could be.
I think it's dads of that age. And she goes, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes you just go with it.
Gotta go with it.
Gotta
go with it. Yeah.
But yeah, so that should be fun. I don't think we're going to be wearing any knitwear for that, except for, getting to and from the vehicles.
Right. In fact, after this, I'm going to try on and after you take my picture, I'll try on my party dress.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to figure out what I'm wearing.
I have this party dress. It's going to be my Christmas dress.
It's going to be great.
It's the office party for here. I'm not going to make the office party at my job because that's Friday, and I don't need to go in 7 days. It's just not happening.
Plus, you're coming to mine.
Right.
And mine's going to be at a science center, so it's so much more fun.
It will be fun. It'll be very much fun.
Yes. It was we were way more packed last week because we had the advent calendar, so Sorry
well, I can
about
open
that.
tomorrow.
You are not going to go ahead.
I love opening.
I know you do.
Oh, well.
No, going ahead. You're the worst. I love you.
I think I've been pretty good. I haven't opened all of them. So.
Well, so on Thursday, I had received the, so for the Stiachalong, there were teams this year. And we had a group, or team projects that every person had to stitch on.
Mm-hmm.
And my teams got to me on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So I got home from choir practice on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on the hoop, and I stitched my block. And then and about 4 stitches in, I was like, I'm fading fast here, people. So I went to the chocolate one. I hadn't eaten like 2 or 3 days of it. So I popped one out, and I was like eating that. And then I finished that, and I still hadn't finished my block. So I went back for the next day.
Oh,
still
good.
Not catching up. Still haven't caught up to the actual date yet. So I figured I was
still
okay.
behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's delicious. But you can only have like one a night unless you're really struggling. And I was really struggling.
You were really struggling, right.
To the point where I didn't finish putting my initials on each of the pieces. So it's all one big piece. But eventually it will be cut into 8 so that each of us can have a piece. And we're each putting our initials on all 8.
Oh.
However, I fell asleep on my couch doing it and missed 5 of them. Hi. It was me. And I didn't realize it until I was handing it off to the next person on Friday at work.
Oh.
But at that point, we had realized that we were not going to finish it by Saturday at midnight. So I will get it back to me probably in the next two weeks or so. And then I will finish my initials. But I figured I got the block done, which was the important piece.
That was really good. Yes.
But I was like, and there's evidence, because the person who took it from me took a photo of it, and there was evidence that I did fall asleep doing it. I was like, I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, so that's been our week.
It's been actually
a crazy week.
Kind of busy. We did a lot of singing yesterday for the funeral. Of course, we sang in church today. It's difficult when you lose people. So we're just a little verklempt, I think.
Yeah.
But we really appreciate your company.
Yeah.
We're so happy that you stopped by. Mm-hmm. And
maybe we'll have more progress next week.
I'm hoping.
I've got holiday gifts I need to knit.
I'm hoping to get the mittens done, and I haven't even cast them on yet. So
I've got a hat. I want to get a hat, 2 sets of mitts, pair of socks.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, the socks and 1 pair of mitts I don't think have to be done before Christmas, but they should be done thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
sounds good.
I kind of want to get the Tegna done just to be done with something big.
Yes,
because I've been working on that since September, and I would like to have the closure of finishing the things I started Labor Day weekend.
Yes, I understand, but you've had problems with the yarn.
Yeah. So I will wind this.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want me to wind while?
No, you've wound the mittens, so that's good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
So thank you all. We're going to start weaving in our ends.
And winding some yarn.
And we really appreciate it. We'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.